Very, very sad news. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a flop. Yep. The game total of 2.4 million copies. That still outsold Stellar Blade, by the way, which took a whole year to reach 2 million copies. At least if the studio is to believe. As well. But at least it's still sold better than Stellar Blade. But that isn't really a big of achievement because nobody cared about Stellar Blade too much outside of a certain movement that constantly puts the game and still pushes the game to this day. But we're not gonna mention that movement all too much. Up spam risk as well. But within days, Ubisoft probably announced 3 million or 3 billion without Ubisoft glorified deal and Posia's game launches as well. God's greatest gift of bad guys at all gaming records. And this was posted on Reddit. I was surprised if Reddit downposted this entire thing as well. PS5, 1.7 million copies sold since launch. Again, still sold better than Stellar Blade, but, and 367k copies sold on Steam in the first 2 weeks. Where sales plummeted so hard it became difficult for them to gather accurate data. It is the worst performance of the free platforms. Let's be generous and assume it matches PCs as well. That brings a total of 2.4 million copies sold. Even Ghost of Tsushima sold way better in its 3 days. And Assassin's Creed 1, a game from 18 years ago, sold 2.5 million copies for a month. For Ubisoft, Ubisoft's earnings are in the gutter at this point. Like, this game was an absolute failure. Okay, absolute failure. This game was an absolute failure. Like, they spent hundreds of millions of dollars in this game, and instead of listening to the fans and actually fixing all the problems of the game as well, Ubisoft decided to basically throw a tantrum and basically say, "But you're racist! How dare you not like this game?" That's all Ubisoft did, and they just whine that you're racist or blah blah blah. And this is why people don't like modern gaming. Okay, when game developers don't get the way, they basically just throw tantrums and call fan and attack fans, kind of like what Lucasfilm does. Okay, and no one why Ubisoft is going bankrupt, like Ubisoft is doing horribly as well. And don't be surprised that the Switch 2 version doesn't really sell too well either, because they were reaching this on Switch 2 because they think, but the Switch 2 will save Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, I don't think anyone on the Switch 2 will be buying Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay, no one cared about even on the quote unquote greatest console of all time. Yeah, still dying the PS5 greatest console rumors, but even on PC, no one cared about the game on PC as well. And no exact numbers on Xbox, but it's the worst performing but on free players. PC zeros assume. Yeah, let's assume it sold 400,000 copies on Xbox as well. This is just absolute embarrassment for Ubisoft. Again, still sold better than Stellar Blade, and still sold almost as much as the entire Shantae franchise. But those are two franchises that are not really iconic at all. So, yeah. And about Assassin's Creed Shadows should be selling 10 million copies. Okay. Not barely outselling 2 random indie games that nobody cares about besides a small niche community as well. But yeah, goodbye.